I now call upon Pauline from Yishun Junior College to push the proposition side.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pauline Chua, the chairman of ACES, Association for Clean Energy Solutions. Firstly, I'm here today to represent the interests of Singapore's clean energy solutions. Just now, from the opposition team, she mentioned that taxes is just like using a hammer to kill ants. This is not true. Just now, she mentioned that taxes didn't work at all. If taxes don't work, then how would a hammer kill the ant? Okay, firstly, just now, Speaker 1 from the opposition team also mentioned that about the flexibility of taxes. We are flexible because we leave the firms with choice to choose. No, thank you. We leave them with the choice to reduce their pollution or to pay taxes. They can also choose to turn to us, the clean energy providers. Okay, now let me start my case proper and tell you why our case no thanks, and tell you why our case should stand. The main concern of our industry is the pace of growth. It is too slow as what we have expected. This is due to the high cost of technology. The price of these technology solutions have been so high, creating barriers for firms, especially those on smaller scale. Hence, these problems lower the demand for our products. Moreover, there have been no incentives for firms to turn to us. In this way, the growth for our industry is restricted. But there is a need to allow growth in our industry. No, thank you. Because ours is the one filled with potential. We are the one who can bring Singapore forward and then bring Singapore into another golden age. Indeed, PM Lee announced that Singapore would develop this sector as a key growth area, with the aim of generating $1.7 billion annually for the economy, and also employment of 7,000 by the year of 2015. It is only in about another 6 years' time.
Point of information, ma'am.
No, thank you. Thus, we need to increase the pace of our growth. In the previous years, the government has implemented taxes on smoking. It has shown that for every 10% increase in the real inflation-adjusted price for tobacco, there will be a decrease of up to 8% in the consumption of cigarettes.
Madam.
Yes.
In legislation, Singapore invested $20 million in clean energy. Tell me why taxes are necessary since legislation already accomplishes that.
How do you know that taxes has already legislation has still accomplished that? Because there is a need for our industry to grow. If taxes are implemented, they will force those polluting firms to take the cost, and they will turn to us. We can also develop us as a hub and eventually become an export sector.
Madam.
No, thank you. From our industry points of view, any form of wastage is definitely a no-no. So they should turn to us, the experts in this area. In this case, implementing taxes can help both our industry and the country's economy. The policy will increase the cost of production of polluting firms and affect the bottom line if they continue with their conventional methods of production. Therefore, they will be encouraged to switch to these clean energy solutions, enabling them to reduce the amount of payable tax directly. When the demand for our clean energy solutions increases, we will have more incentives to improve on our R&D sector, especially for the smaller firms in our industry. When the scale of production expands, our cost, no thanks, the cost for ours are lowered, allowing us to supply more, even at a lower price, passing on the cost savings to our customers. After the firms in our industry are well established, we can have our own export sector, bring our clean energy solutions overseas. Expanding this industry can allow Singapore to be a hub for clean energy technologies, no thank you, in the future, providing a boost to Singapore's economy. In addition, as our production scale grows, there will be more job opportunities created, bringing down the unemployment level. Who knows, perhaps one of our dear opposition speakers will be working for our industry in the future. The implications of taxation are not only of an advantage to our industry, but also to Singapore's economy. In conclusion, the motion must stand as it will provide an opportunity for our industry to grow and also for the no thank you, and also for our economy to expand. With Singapore's existing strengths in electronics, precision engineering, and chemical industries, we can definitely build up our R&D sector, attract and anchor major international companies, and lastly, internationalize our clean energy products and solutions. No thank you. Not to forget, there is another crucial reason why this motion should stand, and this will be revealed to you by my next speaker in the later part of the debate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand that taxes will be like killing two birds with one stone. We can help the economy, and this will not be a burden to the household. So I hope that you will make the right decision. Thank you.
Now I invite the next speaker from the proposition, Hui Wen of Diamond High.
Okay, in response to the previous speaker from the proposition, we agree that the clean energy industry ought to develop. However, the proposition has not shown clearly how taxes is better than legislation in achieving this. In extension to what the first opposition team has raised, our two speakers will now show you that taxation is not the way to go. My explanation will convince you that there is no need for such disruptive government intervention in the market whereby businesses engage in environmentally friendly practices, and secondly, taxes are neither feasible nor desirable or appropriate. My second speaker will be focusing more on the social aspect of this issue when he brings up the negative consequences of taxation. He will then convince you that taxation is not effective nor sustainable, and he will offer you an alternative long-term solution. Now, on to my first point. It is unnecessary for taxes to be imposed in order to encourage environmentally friendly practices. Why is this so? Simply because it is in firms' self-interest to do so. According to Michael Porter, a professor at Harvard Business School and a leading expert on competitive strategy, being socially responsible can lead to a sustainable competitive advantage. There are two ways to this.
Madam,
Yes, ma'am.
the money that we gain from the taxes can be used to fund this kind of research. That's the point.
When you give such taxation, not only fine, you said that you will collect revenue, however, you have not considered how consumers will suffer, which I will prove to you later on. Back to my point. Firstly, many businesses have demonstrated that through their environment management system, they can make great improvements in the environmental performance while saving money and increasing productivity. An example of such a firm would be technology company 3M, who has saved $530 million from 1975 to 1990 due to lower energy use. This is eco-efficiency, simply related to improved process efficiency, leading to direct savings due to lower cost of production.
Madam.
Thank you, sir. Also, by adopting a more proactive stance in implementing environmentally friendly practices, firms will be able to avoid heavy fines imposed by environmental regulations. As such, firms do have the initiative to be environmentally friendly. No, thank you, ma'am. Secondly, there is an increasing environmental awareness among consumers. This is shown by the surge in demand for green products.
Point, madam.
No, thank you, ma'am. Such as the environmentally friendly car insurance, and the large number of hits for the Environmental Protection Agency's website, reaching 40 million hits per month. Therefore, engaging in environmentally friendly practices will be a form of product differentiation, which increases the demand of a product or service, making the demand more price inelastic and hence increasing the revenue of a company. As shown, the possibility of increased revenue is itself a big incentive for firms to engage in such an environmentally friendly practice. Now, given that there are such potential benefits to be...
Madam.
No, thank you, sir. It's in fact a strategic advantage to be socially responsible. Corporations who adopt responsible business practices are actually creating the foundation for long-term product sustainability and profitability. With that, it is obvious that there is no need for taxes to be imposed. I'll now move on to my second point, that taxation is neither feasible nor appropriate or desirable. Why isn't it feasible? This is because taxation is a complicated process with many regulations. The resulting red tape will be saddling firms with too many unnecessary costs, thus causing internal diseconomies.
Point, madam.
No, thank you, ma'am. Furthermore, during implementation, there are bound to be many problems. After all, there is no clear definition as to what is environmentally friendly and what is not. How will the government decide how much to tax and what to tax on? No, thank you, sir. It is impossible to find out the optimum point of, say, pollution. Hence, it is likely that allocative inefficiency will still be the end product.
Madam?
Now, no, thank you, ma'am. Taxation is not desirable as well. Firstly, when taxes are imposed, it will eventually lead to a loss of rights and choices of individuals. Let me now give you a scenario. Say, Singapore Power is taxed for air pollution. Given that the demand for electricity is price inelastic and that Singapore Power is a monopoly, the tax will then be passed on to consumers who have no other choices to turn to. This is definitely not an isolated case, as big firms are usually the ones who are taxed heavily due to their large-scale production. Secondly, for firms who cannot afford the tax, it may then suppress their growth and hence lose cause the country to lose its competitiveness. Now, this shows that if taxes are imposed to encourage environmentally friendly practices, it is on a fundamental assumption that the environment is more important than the economy, which is not the case here, as the opportunity cost is too high to bear. To give a simple Pigovian tax analysis, optimum pollution is not zero pollution. Most importantly, taxation is not appropriate as it does not tackle the root of the problem. By imposing taxes, it is likely that firms will choose to decrease their production instead of switching to environmentally friendly practices, since it is simply easier than putting in the time, effort, and resources to engage in research and development to avoid the taxes. This will then not achieve our objective of encouraging environmentally friendly practices. Hence, tax is not encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you, Hui Wen.